Oh, it is live. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I didn't know it was. Give it a few minutes here. Just sit tight. Missed something. There it is. There we go. So, anyways, someone had asked me, how does my virtual hard drive service work? I do have it over on my Patreon, but I'm going to show you how it works here. I'll have to nullify the sound here. But what you're seeing here on the screen, you see if I can maximize it. There we go. Is actually I've got 5 virtual computers here hooked up. One is doubling as a server. There's a Linux operating system. There's a Windows 11, a Windows 10, and a Windows XP, and a Windows 7, I believe. I can't remember. Anyways, this one is actually the host, which would be the equivalent of what's in my office here when you sign up for the virtual hard drive service. And what happens is, say, like these other 4 computers, and of course, I'm using computers for the demonstration. These are 4 other computers, and anytime a file is saved in your virtual hard drive, it immediately goes from that computer to the virtual hard drive and then gets distributed to the other ones. So it's a really good way of sharing files. And the other thing you could do with this too, as long as I know you want to set it up that way, is if you wanted to do user restrictions, I can probably do that as well. I don't get very many requests for it, usually because it's usually 1, 2, or 3 people in a group using the virtual hard drive, and everything is just straight up fully shared. And so that's why I don't have that. And then the nice thing is too is once a week I take that virtual hard drive that you're subscribed to, and I back it up to an outside location on another computer. So if the virtual hard drive for whatever reason would to die, I've still got a copy of your files. So that's how it works. And as you can see, as the video is playing, I have the sound turned off, so you can't, you can't hear it. It is available through Patreon. It is also on my YouTube channel. It is on my TikTok channel. How it works, and so what happens is, like I said, you can have up to a total of 5 devices. If you need more devices hooked up to it, Windows-based devices, if you need more, then obviously I would have to charge a little bit extra for the extra connection. But otherwise, it works very, very well. And like I said, it does work with Ubuntu, which is what the operating system is down here in this corner. That is Ubuntu. Um, and so it does work with Linux. It will work with Mac too, but I've never set up a Mac computer to work with a virtual computer or virtual hard drive service. But hey, it supposedly does. And so, yeah, I just set up your account on the virtual hard drive, um, designate your partition that is strictly yours, and then get you remote into your computers and get them all set up and show you how to generally use them. And yeah, it's just a matter of it works just like a file server in a corporate office. And so it's really, really nice in that regard. So yeah, you just drag and drop. You can open live. I have 3 clients that use it in that capacity. Most people use it as a backup server, or so they can back up their photos and their documents and their downloads and stuff like that. Um, so that's the primary use of how it works. But you can use it interactive and live. So I mean, that's how it works. Pretty simple, straightforward, and to the point. And it's really reasonable too. I think it's like a total of $8 a month for a 2 terabyte partition that is strictly yours. Um, I don't go looking at it. I don't go snooping at your files. I have no reason to do that. The only time I ever go look at anything on the virtual hard drive is once a week. I'll go in and check to make sure I'm doing maintenance, and I'm checking the antiviruses and checking the log files and making sure everything is working right. So that's the only time I ever, and I don't even look at your personal files other than to check, okay, when was the last time a successful backup came through, because although the log files will show me one thing, I just want to make sure. So, and like I said, and so I don't even, I'll click on your partition, I'll put in a date and see when the last file came through, and if it looks sufficient, that's what I'm doing. So, but this is how the virtual hard drive service works. Like I said, and it works on Windows XP, it works on Windows 7, it works on Windows 10, it works on Windows 11, and as you can see, it works on Linux. So, in this particular case, like I said, I would be using this top one here in the upper right hand corner of the video. That's basically the equivalent of the virtual hard drive server. And then the other 4 virtual computers there that you're seeing are just computers that are connected to it using the virtual hard drive service. And like I said, it works like file sharing. So you could actually open up a video, or you could open up a file, make edits and changes, and save it back to the virtual hard drive, and it works just like if you're using it in a network environment. The only thing it doesn't do in this regards is application sharing. And I want you to be aware of that, because if you opened up a Word document and someone else tried to open up the same Word document, that's not going to work. The person who's opening it up, the second one, is going to get a warning and saying, "Hey, this is already opened by another user." I don't have the capability of doing application servers at this time. I hope someday I can, but that's how that works. So, another person was asking about the computers I put up for sale. Let me get into them. All the way up to the top. I put it in the members only category. And you can see it's only $3 a month to join if you want to go that way. Collections, here it is, members only. So this first computer for $325 is an HP 17-inch. It has an AMD A12 processor, 12 gigs of RAM, a 250 gigabyte SSD, optical drive. It is a DVD drive. Card reader, 3 USBs, 1 HDMI, audio port, Ethernet port, wireless. The battery is being replaced. I checked it out today to do updates because it had been sitting on the shelf for the week, and I noticed that the battery was no longer holding a charge. So that's been ordered as of today. And so that's on the way. There's a good power cord. It comes with Windows 10 with built-in security, Edge, Chrome, Firefox, LibreOffice, and of course, Computer Garage's remote assistance for 30 days. So, so if you want it, you text it, tell me that you want it, and, I can do text messages back and forth. We can get that invoice sent off to you so you can get it paid. Hey, boy, thank you for the gift there. I greatly appreciate it. The second one is just refurbished today. It's another HP 17-inch for $350. This has the AMD Ryzen 3 quad-core processor in it. And so this has got a 1 terabyte solid-state hard drive in it with a DVD drive, Bluetooth. This one actually does have the Bluetooth. It's got Ethernet and wireless and HDMI, headphone jack, webcam, microphone, card reader, 3 USBs. The battery is good. Power good is good. It is using Windows 10 with built-in security with Edge, Chrome, Firefox, LibreOffice, and 30 days of remote support. And of course, I should have noted this on the other one. Windows 10 does retire October 14, 2025. So if you go with a Windows 10 computer that cannot be upgraded, which in this case it can, you're probably only going to be about a year out of it. But we can always convert you over to Atlas, and Atlas works really, really well. So just for price comparison, I have this for $350. I looked it up. Walmart reseller has it for $388 with only 8 gigs of RAM. I'm giving you 16. So last one is an HP G17 or G72 laptop for an estimated $170. I am waiting for parts to come into it. That's why it says this. I'm trying to upgrade it up to 8 gigs, so I've got RAM on the way in. I put in a new SSD. So that's all set and ready to go. think I've ordered a new battery for that. Yep, it's on the way. So yeah, that is an HP G72. It is a 17-inch, surprisingly. So it does have the i3 in it. It's a dual core. It will have 8 gigs in it once I get it updated and all done like that. It does have a brand new SSD in it. Of course, you know, it has Ethernet, Wi-Fi, VGA, and HDMI. So you could technically hook up 3 monitors with this. There's 2 USB ports on one side and one on the other. Headphone jacks, microphone jack, webcam, card reader, DVD drive. That's usually what the optical drive is. Power cord, and the battery is new when the new battery comes in. That one has Atlas 10 on it. So, and if you're not familiar with Atlas 10 is a debloated version of Windows 10. So, and it works really, really good. It just basically takes all the junk out of the computer. So, it also has Edge, Chrome, Firefox, LibreOffice, and because of Atlas, there is no antivirus. It has Malwarebytes. Again, same thing. Reach out to me, tell me what you want. We'll work it out. So yeah, so if you're a Patreon member, of course, depending upon what your level is, let me go back up here and show you that. Go back to my page. We'll go into the memberships. So if you are a supporter at $3, you get 6% off services, 3% off purchases. So if you bought a laptop, I have to adjust it down 3%. So, and same thing with the, you know, the $5 a month, the $10 a month, and the VIP, which I actually do offer that VIP plan to people in person locally here to me. So that's why I had to throw that one in. So yeah, it works quite well. So other than that, let's see what else I got. Under collections, I know it was a busy week this week. Services that we provide, I think I talked about that already. Cloning out your hard drive. Excuse me, more for my locals than anyone else. So with my locals, how that's going to work is if your hard drive is dying, let me clone it out and put it back into your computer, and it's going to speed up your computer for one, especially if you're using a mechanical drive, or you know, if your SSD is an older version, obviously the newer ones will work just great. So, but yeah, there you go. So let me clone out your hard drive for you. Cloning hard drives is like the #1 service I've done for the last 3 years. So it's you know, in fact, I think I've done 1, 2, 3 this week alone. So kind of important. Executive decisions. Oh, and this is what a remote looks like if I'm ever doing a remote with you. See how it has that bar across the top. See if I can get this to open up for you. Good, I've got it muted. So yeah, if I'm doing remote, this is the program I'm using. This is on every computer that we sell. This program here allows me to remotely connect to you. It gives you get an ID number and a password, and with that, then I can connect to your computer. Once I'm connected to your computer, it's just like if I'm sitting in front of it. In this particular case for this video, this computer was actually in front of me on the desktop, or on the workstation. So I have dual 32-inch monitors, and so I can't see the workstation very good, so I often use the remote access program so I can watch it on my screen what the computer is doing. So in this particular case with the remote access, I was just opening up Crystal Disk to check the hard drive. You can see there's an ATEC SSD 1 terabyte in this computer. Absolutely one of the best SSD companies I have ever seen. I have never, in the 4 years I've been selling them, had one go bad. I'm just saying. You know, I've seen Corsairs go bad. I've seen Samsungs go bad. I've seen Western Digitals go bad. I have yet to see one. Now, of course, it's only been 4 years. I'm sure I'm going to get one here that's going to go bad here soon, because usually SSDs are good. I tell people 2.5, 3 years is when you need to start watching it. And so this one, you know, I should start seeing my first, you know, unalived hard drive, an SSD, and an ATEC SSD probably, you know, relatively soon. So this is one of the programs I use for doing maintenance on a computer. It is a Advanced System Care by IOBIT. A lot of people have a problem with tools like this, especially with this particular company. I don't know why they don't like them. Every once in a while, they do come across as a security risk on various companies, so it just really depends. Um, Malwarebytes will flag it. Um, Someone else will flag it and it'll say it's a threat to your computer, but every other, like Trend Micro doesn't, or Windows Defender doesn't. So it's kind of weird in that way. But this is one of those programs that's an optimizer. It goes through and cleans out your junk and optimizes your system and so on and so forth. And it also has companion softwares, which is what you're seeing on the screen there, like Driver Booster, Smart Defrag. Those tools is tools that I use to service your computer. So there's Driver Booster. What it does, it's going to go through and update all your drivers for your computer um, up to the limitation of what they call Pro Status. Pro Status is going to be basically for games or gaming because they want you to buy it. I never have ever bought the program, ever. I use it and then uninstall it, and that's what the uninstaller is for, because the uninstaller will strip everything out that I have in this, installed. So it's some people have a problem with these types of things, saying that they're usually full of malware. I've been using this company and this software for 8 years now. Never had a problem. Never. So um, I take that back. I had two times I think in the years I've using it where it put the wrong driver in for the wrong device. Twice in 8 years. So it's a good program. But like I said, I don't leave it on a client computer because it is naggy and spammy. It will ask you to buy the software all the time. It drives you nuts. Since no one's here, I can go ahead and do that. So this will go through and, like I said, Driver Booster will update all of your drivers. It works very, very well. The next program on there is Smart Defrag. Normally, you don't do a defrag on an SSD, and normally you don't run that. But if you have other hard drives in your computer that needs to have that done, that are mechanical, that's where you use those. So, and if you're seeing it says the IP address up there, that is legitimately mine. That's for the web server. So don't be surprised about that. The other things I do is a PowerShell command, and I also do command prompt commands. But I've recently learned how to combine the two together, so I can just throw them all in one command, and it will do the PowerShell command. It will do the DISM commands for the DISMs for component start and analyzing and or health restore health, and then system file checker. So those commands are important to do too as a part of maintenance. And I've recently discovered how to put that into a whole package and run it through your task scheduler. It is a premium video on Patreon to show you how to do that. So, and there you go. That's the adjusted commands that I'm using, and there's the PowerShell running. The DSL is going to, or the DISM will run after the PowerShell command. The PowerShell command that's running there is going to clean up all your Windows apps. If there's anything damaged or corrupted, it's going to get a new copy of it and get that taken care of. And then the DISM commands, you've got the analyze this component store. So it's going to check to see if any of the components are damaged or corrupted and retrieve a copy of it from. It's going to analyze it first. Cleanup is going to then remove those that are no longer needed, download the new ones that need to be done, or pull it off the reserve copy. Supersede is then going to spend the Windows update just long enough to run the restore health function, and then system file checker is then going to go through your Windows System 32 folder and make sure all those DSLs and COM files and everything else are all straightened out. So that's why it does that. And then the FS utility, because this is a solid state hard drive, I did not do this, but if you're on a mechanical drive, I do this. That's where it goes through and checks your hard drive, make sure there are no bad sectors and bad clusters going on. And then shut down, restart. That way it reboots the system. So again, one of those many, many tools that I use. So anyways, like I said, that's how that works. So yeah, a lot of my stuff is over on Patreon because I'm trying to drive people over there because I get a better return on the Patreon than I do on any other platform. And so this is why I'm trying to push people over to the Patreon page. Plus, if I get banned or blocked, hi John, if I get banned or blocked or whatever from one social media, Patreon is always available. So you can always find me there. So that's the nice thing about it. So that's why I'm kind of trying to get people to come over to my Patreon page. And like I said, just to show you an example of this uses this $10 a month plan. Um, the equivalent to that on TikTok would be that they take 50% pretty much. Here on Patreon, if you went for $10 a month as a subscriber, um, $10 minus their Patreon fee, minus the credit card fee, minus the payout fee, and I get $8.36 a month of that $10, which is a much better deal than um, TikTok, much better deal than see what's the other one that does pay out, YouTube. So much better deal. So certainly that's why I'm trying to generate people to go that way to subscribe to me. You can still follow me on all the other platforms, but I'm going to start really pushing the Patreon because obviously it's a better thing, and I can put stuff there that I can't put on any other platform. I do most of the I have a private folder on YouTube that I upload them to, and they're not available to YouTube when they're there, and then I pull them into Patreon that way. So they do work that way, and like I said, that's why it shows the YouTube link there because then it pulls it back from YouTube. But the nice thing about that, like I said, Patreon pays me better. I just have to have subscribers signing up for it. So, but yeah, that's the nice thing about it. So, and of course, the nice thing about it is you could join for free, no money up front. So that's the other thing to it. And like I said, I do have a members only section, and of course, news and commentary that I do every day. Seems to be a popular thing that people like, so I'll continue to do it. Humor, myself and work. That's probably going to be, my funnies and my rants and raves and stuff like that. Services, if I need to advertise services, that's where I'll probably put it, and that's going to include like virtual hard drive and cloning of hard drives and so on and so forth, repairing of laptops and desktops. So that's where I'll put that information. But the nuts and bolts of everything, this is where you want to be, is in the member section. This is where I'm going to sell a lot of laptops, or at least that's the attempt. Of course, basic software maintenance. Beginning of the month, make sure you're doing your system restore points. Excuse me. How to fix things, and cloning your hard drive. So that's why I'm trying to get people over here because it's a better pay. And if I tell people that, then maybe other people will start following me over to Patreon too. So that's the idea. So, 23 minutes in, I've only had a few viewers. I got 380 likes. Thank you, and a donation. Thank you. To Yeah Boy, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure I return the gift to you in one of your videos. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get the link. Up here, if you could see it, that's where you go. Patreon.com/Computer Garage LLC. And I didn't even know you were still here because according to the stats, there's no one here. So, but like I said, it's a different type of website. It's going to take a while to get it built up. Like I said, and I just started it and finally got it approved for it. And so, basically, whatever I'm posting on social media on a daily for like news commentary and so on and so forth will also get posted here. Because I know if you say certain things in certain places, you get basically the equivalent of TikTok jail. And I've been there once already. I've been in Twitter jail. I have been in YouTube jail. I have been in. So at least this way I've always got Patreon. Patreon's always working. So that would be the website address you go to. Now, if you're doing it from a phone, you'll probably have to download the app because that's using, obviously a web browser. They do have an app you could download from the appropriate app store, so you can go that way with it. But like I said, I'm trying to get more people moved over there because I get paid better over there. Um, and if I can get more people to migrate over and they open up their accounts, it takes a while because a lot of people don't want to part their money, even if it's just $3. Yeah, like I said, I've got my tiers set at 3, 5, 10, and 20. I get that, but like I said, with the $3 tier, if you agree to give me $3 a month after everything, I get 212. If I do that through TikTok and you do the $2.99 a month plan, I get $1.48. So that's the thing. So plus you get plus I'm doing discounts on there. So if you were looking for like the computers, I can't remember, someone, I posted up computer links, and I pointed them back to Patreon, because you can join for 7 days for free. Doesn't cost you anything, um, but then that gives you access to those you know files that it says member only, so you can go into there and take a look and see what that's all about. But that's how it works in this regard. So, um, things for this following week. Saturday, I will be closed. Um, Daughter's graduation party, and the party is 70 miles away, so I will be closed Saturday. I've got $300 worth of food to buy. Um, so yeah, and then I got to take it all the way down there, and of course fire up grills and get things cooking and organize things, and yeah, it's going to be a busy Saturday for me. So I won't be around Saturday. I might be able to come in time to get my usual 3 to 4 news articles and commentary out, but other than that, not going to be open. I suppose someone asked me about putting it into the Dejubie website. I suppose I ought to do that here sometime this week too, because I don't have it listed here yet. Um, yeah, so I suppose I should probably do that here soon. Um, Throw in another one. I maybe I'll drop this one because I can't seem to get any love out of Twitter. So, Twitter's just a hard, and so maybe I'll drop that link and put the Patreon link in there so you all can find it easily through the website. But yeah, I mean, that's like I said, Patreon just pays me better, and that's why I'm trying to get people to come over there and take a look. Like I said, and the prices are comparable to TikTok, so it's like $3, or it's TikTok is $2.99. You know, Patreon is 3. I've got 5 and 10. They've got those on TikTok too. It's just when you look at the details. Hey Kim, when you look at the details, you see I get paid better through Patreon than I do TikTok. So that's why I'm kind of live on a Sunday. I try and do a live on a Sunday because people are home, um, and stuff like that. I got a late start tonight because I were busy during the day, so I didn't get a chance to do it usually at my 3 o'clock. So I thought, hey, after dinner I'll come over and do one. So, but yeah, that's the fees for membership over there. And like I said, you could try it for 7 days. It doesn't cost you anything. If you don't like it, cancel it. No big deal. But like I said, there's a members only section there. That's where I'm going to put a lot of good stuff. News and commentaries, everything I post on every other social media goes there. Um, in this way, if I get banned or blocked from a particular social media account, you can always come over here and see it. It always works. So, services we provide, that's just basic advertising. Humor myself in work, that's just basically what it is, humor myself in work or for me needing to vent. So that's what that's for. So, works very, very well. So, like I said, it's just getting people to come over and sign up. And Patreon's been around for a good long time. So, it works. Any cool customers this week? Berkshire Hathaway um, did a hard drive clone for them and upgraded a computer so they can leave it at the island. So, yeah, the owners of that particular branch got a hold of me and said, "Hey, can you fix this laptop up because they're tired of taking their big laptop back and forth from the city to the island because they go to the island on the weekend." So I got that fixed up for them. I'll drop that off tomorrow. Um, Good people. Um, you know, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I mean, that's one of the bigger names there. That's Warren Buffett's chain. So, yeah, not that I've ever met the man, but I know the two people that are clients. Yeah, so that's going on. Next Saturday I will be closed because I've got my daughter's graduation party. So that's going to be an all day event. Even though that's only like for like 3 hours on Saturday, it's going to get $300 worth of food and $50 worth of cake, and drive it 70 miles away because all the family she wanted to invite is all down by her grandparents, which is a long, long ways away. 70 miles is a long trip. But this way, her grandparents can at least be there, and of course, they're pushing almost 80 years old. So, okay, we'll go to them instead of them coming to us. So, as for anything else on the schedule this week, I don't think I have really anything else on the schedule this week so far. Um, it's subject to change. You know how that is. This is why I like my job because it's never the same thing. It's I don't want to say it's never the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's never the same thing. Um, so yeah, so I've got some minor things going on. I would have to look at my calendar here to see, but I don't think I have anything officially scheduled yet, other than returning that laptop to Berkshire. Yeah, I mean, and it's not officially, it's on the schedule, but I don't have a specific time for it yet for tomorrow. Um, New and exciting things. Our local United Way has a new executive director. Um, Seems like a highly skilled and intelligent man who's finally got some direction for United Way in our local office, which has been sorely lacking for the last several years. So hopefully we could get, they've been a client for 10 years at least, if not longer. No, longer. So hopefully with this new director, we can get them back up and running the way they're supposed to be. Um, they just had been basically, you know, when you don't have good leadership, what can you do? So, and it is a small United Way. It only has two, the director, the administrative assistant, and then sometimes a volunteer. So it's like only three people who run the entire office. Um, but the amount of support they provide um, for community impact and stuff like that, they really need a director who is going to go out there and get things done. Like I said, the last several directors that have been there, eh, I really hope that the last one that was there was going to do a whole lot more than what they did. They didn't even make it a year before they turned in their letter of resignation. So hopefully, this director, and I've talked to him and asked him about his visions and goals for what he wants to accomplish, and he's at least got a plan. Where the other ones were kind of like winging it because they were kind of walking in cold. This one at least has got a plan. So Yes, and it used to be a lot better when I first acquired United Way as a client for our local area. Um, the director there had a background in um, social work and criminal justice, so it really worked. So she was out there a go getter. So under her leadership, we had things like every couple of months we had like a farmers market, and we had a stuff the bus for back to school, and then we had Duck Derby. That was one of their big campaigns they ran every year. And then after she left, it was just it just went downhill. Um, the fact that they have survived this long without a meaningful leadership person, you know. Now the director that replaced her, um, which I thought was relatively, I thought he was going to do well, and I think his direction would have been a good idea. It never took off, and because it wasn't quite the alignment they were looking for. He was more tech savvy. He is a captain. Yeah, he's a captain of one of three Ohio Navy. That's right, Ohio has a Navy. Can you believe that? We have three clipper boats for the Navy for Lake Erie. Um, and so, yeah, we actually have a Navy. And so he's a captain of one of those ships. He's also a business owner himself. So, like, when he took over the leadership role over at United Way, I thought maybe he was going to go somewhere with it because he was kind of tech savvy. So when he was in charge, I didn't have to do a whole lot because he took care of a lot of the stuff. When he left, it was just the next several directors that was there just weren't for darn. Well, and that very well could be. Corp structuring, executive director. The only thing people above the executive director is the board, and like everything else, you have to run through everything through the board. And I've bumped heads with the boards myself when they didn't have directors in place, where hey, I need to do this as a part of IT security, so I need you to approve this. And it was like, and they him in the hall and him in the hall, and they've got two computers that desperately need to be changed out, including the file server, and hopefully with the new director we can get this ball moving. I want him to be in place first for a little bit before we start dropping those bombs on him. But yeah, we need to get those two computers updated. He found out one of those on Wednesday when I stopped in, or no, Friday when I stopped in to make a repair to the server that happened. Um, he'd asked, he goes, this particular computer for the volunteers so ungodly slow. I'm like, yes. And I've been complaining about it for years that it needs to be replaced. It is an old Dell Inspiron Slim form factor. I mean, it must be 13 years old. There's really, I mean, it barely runs Windows 10. So hopefully once I get him, like I said, once he gets things going and moving a little bit, then I'll go, hey, we really need to get some money to these computers. Um, so we'll see. That's the only thing I can say there. So, but yeah, I mean that's the excitement for the week so far, or in the past week. Other than news, comments, and stories I've done about security breaches and all that stuff, that's always been fun. A slim, yeah, slim Windows 7, and that's what it is. I would have to look. Yeah, I believe it does have a Windows 7 sticker on it. It's just it's like got 4 gigs of RAM. It can't be upgraded. If I put an SSD in it, it's just going to be counterproductive because it's just got a slow processor. It's using an old Pentium. I want to say a Pentium Gold or a Pentium Silver processor. That's how old it is. It was a hand me down from a bank that United Way got many, many years ago. So, yeah, they need to be replaced. They need to be upgraded. So, hopefully, like I said, in the coming months and weeks, we can get that done. And then I will feel much more better about that. So, all right. Well, I've got my 35 hours in, or 35 hours, 35 minutes in. Um, Looks like Kim, you're like the only one here. I don't know if John is still here. Um, yeah, it could be. It could be virtualized. The other thing I want to do is their file server in house. They just switched over to fiber, so they've got fully fiber, and it will be fiber through the same company. If I could ever get fiber here, and so I want to completely move their server to a cloud server, uh, or the equivalent of a cloud server, a virtual server here. That way, if there's ever a problem, I can take care of it immediately. So, but yeah, that would be what I would like to do for them. I mean, I already do backups for them. It comes through the internet. That's one of my clients, so their files are all here. So all I would have to do is just virtualize them, put it on a computer, and run it, and there's their files. And then of course they can access it from their laptops, desktops, what have you. So I know the director was asking me about that. I said, well, you got to bring me a laptop, and I'll get you hooked up for the VPN to connect into the server, so you could do that. So, but yep, like I said, I'm thinking about bailing out here. I've got my time in. It's been 41 minutes. Um, Kim, thanks for jumping in. John, if you're still here, thanks for popping in. I know, yeah, boy, he popped in, left me a gift, and on his way. But I appreciate the gifts there. Like I said, don't forget to come join me over on Patreon, because I hope that is going to be the place to be. Especially if for some reason, I don't think it'll happen, but if TikTok goes away, I gotta have a place to go. So that's going to be the place. So, and they got their own apps and their own website, and it pays decent. So that's the idea. So, anyways, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great Sunday night. We'll talk to you later.